and I don't have NFL draft prospects in front of me like you. So congratulations on that. So hour number 2, Lance Leipold will join us at 3:20, and then we'll sneak in some audio along the way. But Calvin Clements is joining us here right now on the show. Calvin, glad to have you here, big fella. How are things going here for today?
It's been good, man. It's a blessing to be in this building. I think it took me out of my comfort zone a little bit. Not used to all this camera time, especially with the uniform on. We were doing all those shoots. They kind of asked you to do, they asked you to dance and stuff like that. It's like I'm not used to doing all that on camera. So, but it's been fun. I'm excited to be here.
Come on, Calvin. Offensive lineman, we bring the most personality. Former offensive lineman myself. We bring the personality.
Yeah.
That's why you're here. That's why Coach Leipold chose you.
Yeah.
That's why.
No, that's true. But offensive linemen, they don't get put in front of the camera a lot. So it's like
only if you get called for a hold or
exactly.
Whatever it might be. That's only when you get mentioned.
Yeah.
Usually how it goes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, hey, glad to have you here, and also a Lawrence native, a Free State Firebird, and we can talk about that here in just a little bit. But let's go back to last season, Calvin. Certainly a tough one. It was a season filled with trials and tribulations. So many close moments to where that record last year could have been so different. But now here you are going into a brand new season. What were some of the things that this squad learned last year, and how do you go about maybe correcting some of the things from last year? Because I talked to Cam Pickett, and it sounds so easy to finish games. But how does one finish a game when you are a player? How do you go about finishing a little bit better here in 2026?
Yeah, no, and that's exactly what I was going to say. It's really just finishing games, being able to put it all together. But in terms of how you practice that and how you mimic that, it's not easy, but we've put a big focus on structuring our workouts, structuring our practices to focus in that last minute. And we do like a little fourth quarter thing. You've probably seen us do it, like we hit our chest and put up the fours. We'll do that in practice. We'll do that in conditioning to really put the emphasis on the fourth quarter. So we're training our minds, or we'll put conditioning early, and then we'll have, we'll be running plays later for a little like offense only practice. And it's like you got to focus when you're tired. So I think trying your best to mimic that, while it's difficult to do because nothing really exactly mimics the game, I think that's pretty important.
Yeah. Well, this offseason, how have things gone? How did spring ball go? Because it's different. Back-to-back years where you're dealing with, 30-plus seniors that end up graduating and move on.
Yeah.
You're part of that group from this past year. You look at the amount, and that's a good thing, though, because that means there's a little bit of consistency. There's continuity. Coach Leipold was talking about that a little bit earlier. We'll get to that coming up in hour number 2. But he mentioned how, transfer portal-wise, we got to explore it. But we want a bunch of guys are going to be here for multiple years. So as you look at the overall unit, definitely a lot of new faces. How do you feel like the process has gone in terms of gelling and coming together as you gear up for another season?
I think it's gone well. I think that's been one of our biggest focuses. Just connection, like the integration process we've been talking about. We make these culture groups, and we talk about personal questions to make sure you can kind of understand people's why they do this, a little bit more about people's families. So I think things like that are big. But then ultimately, I think it really just comes down to the locker room, the guys gelling together, personalities matching, and not being cliquey, position groups. Like everybody's cool with everybody, and I've been really pleased with how this group's come together. I think the team as a whole, part of being a leader is I've been having to connect with everybody, trying to step out of my comfort zone, make a relationship with everybody. But I think more specifically this offensive line, I've been able to see this group come together really well.
You've been part of Kansas, and obviously this is a dream to be able to stay in Lawrence and play for the Crimson and Blue. Andy Koltnicki is back.
Yeah.
How does that feel to have him back in the fold and being able to orchestrate this offense? Of course, when I think everyone just assumes, offensive coordinator, he controls a lot of positions and so on and so forth as offensive lineman. I always like the aspect, too, because people just think we just go out there and block. There's nothing to it, right? You just step forward, do whatever. There's so much more to it than that. And I'm sure with Andy Koltnicki, there's probably a few little wrinkles that you have to be used to or get used to compared to maybe other offensive coordinators. So what has it been like having the return of Andy Koltnicki running the show?
It's been awesome. I think, I got that freshman year with him, and even just watching the football games, close at my high school days, it was obvious the impact he was making on the offense. So ultimately, confidence behind that, behind what he's done in the Big 12 so far, and knowing what he can do in the future. I think, like you're saying, like certain things are different. What he
Mm.
runs, what he does, he gets pretty he gets pretty diverse with what he does with offensive linemen. Like
Yes.
we'll take some interesting splits. We'll do some interesting, which I love. Like there was that one play he had Armaj Reed Adams go in motion, like things like that. It's
Mm-hmm.
you. That's the type of offensive coordinator you want to be behind. So I've been super pleased, and I wasn't very close with him my freshman year, but ever since he came back, definitely we've made an effort to build a better relationship, and I love having him around.
How do you feel about the offensive line unit as of right now? Do you feel like you got to be the leader in the clubhouse a little bit, kind of instruct some guys? Because I think last year, just like most things, you take a lot of pride. You don't get in front of cameras very often, but a lot of coaches will say you win and lose games in the trenches. So how do you feel about the overall group going into this year?
I feel good. I think we have great depth. Like I was telling you, we've been coming together really well.
Mm.
I think it's a lot of consistent guys. They care a lot about their personal development. I think that was a big focus that Coach A was talking about after spring. Like I see a lot of guys are very dedicated to their personal development, but now bringing that together and
Mm.
how can we develop as a unit? You know, getting used to playing with certain guys next to you.
Right?
And yeah, these guys have come together well. I've been pleased with how we're playing. They're adopting the play speed well, and I'm excited to really kind of tie the bow in camp.
Jalen Daniels, QB1 for a long time. Now not the case. Cole Ballard, Isaiah Marshall, quarterback battle going on as of right now. As an offensive lineman, how does that impact your play in order to try to get used to a new quarterback?
You know, if I'm being honest with you, I don't really see it impacting my play that much.
Okay.
I think I feel very confident with both of those guys back there.
I
And
mean,
I'm,
Cole could probably play left tackle. That dude's jacked.
yeah, no,
He's big.
that's true. And they're both great athletes, and like I'm really close with them off the field too.
Mm-hmm.
And they both bring different aspects, but ultimately, what I love about them all is they're very level headed. Like no matter when the pressure comes or if we're having a bad practice, like they're gonna be in a good space mentally. So I feel confident with all of them back there.
Yeah. I have to ask about Dylan Edwards. He is a part of the group this year. He's been around, a former Derby Panther, of course, in Wichita. We definitely keep a close eye on him and what he's been able to do. Now he's in a Kansas Jayhawk uniform. He's trying not to run into you on a regular basis, but a guy who's definitely a speedster. How well has he blended in with this unit and being a Kansas guy and a Kansas native like yourself? How exciting is it to have one of the top guys coming out of high school being now behind you running the football on a regular basis?
Yeah, it's been really exciting. You know, having a guy like that, someone that's special of a talent, very like you're saying, very speedy, very quick, kind of explosive. Like you never know when he could pop a big run. One thing I love about Dylan, he loves football. Like he's a football junkie. He wants to learn more. He's really delved into the offense. So yeah, very happy to have him on the right side.
Yeah, for sure. Well, as you gear up for 2026 offseason wise, what was your plan of attack? Because I know that the goal is to obviously you have hopes of maybe hearing your name called for the NFL draft for future years. Certainly a guy who's got plenty of size, and it's hard to teach size, as we both know.
Yeah.
If you're 6'7", 330 pounds, a lot of people are going to be talking to you. So as you approach the offseason, what were some of the big focal points for Calvin Clements to get himself ready for 2026?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was physical, continue getting stronger from the ground up, growing my lower body, and then just refining things to where I can focus on less of how to do or less of what to do and more just how to do it. Refining my technique and being confident and having a very diverse set, being comfortable and doing multiple things. I think that was a big thing for me. But if I being honest, like a big thing for me has been leadership. I've just been trying to put this team first, and coaches remind me try not to remember to focus on yourself and your own development. But I think that comes second, to be honest. Like it's pretty natural for me to pour into others first, and I think it returns tenfold in that way. So I've been really focused on bringing this team together.
Well, that's what leadership's all about. You take care of others, and it does end up coming back. You're usually I think there's a book out there like "Leaders Eat Last." I think it's a popular book, like it's a book title, and it's so true. Leaders probably should eat last, but it's also hard when you're trying to work on your own personal game, but you want to help so many others. That's kind of the challenges of being a leader here on this team. With you being a former Free State Firebird, to see the stadium the way that it is now.
Yeah.
How incredible is that as a kid growing up in Lawrence and seeing what it is here today?
It's pretty wild. It makes me feel like I've been here for a while, to be honest, because I played in the old and now I'm playing in the new. It's been pretty sweet to see, to be honest with you. And it's like the best of the best. Like just when we were able to start practicing in it, even when it wasn't fully done, like even just like the vastness, it's a super tall, up to date stadium, and then going throughout it, like how up to date the suite area is, and like our
Yeah.
cafeteria is attached to it. So it's like you can take your lunch outside and just eat right out in the stadium. It's like it's pretty sweet.
Dream come true, being able to represent KU.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I have a lot of pride in this program. I'm a fifth generation Jayhawk, so all my parents, grandparents went to KU. So there's no other place I'd rather be representing and being a part of kind of like a movement like this in Kansas.
Being able to land Kansas guys, how big of a deal is that to a guy like you who is a
No,
Kansas
yeah,
guy?
it's great. Like I think we've seen the tide been able to shift a little bit and just getting more Kansas guys to come here. And I feel like maybe I was some of the start of it. It wasn't always super popular for the Kansas guys to come to Kansas, but
Sure.
I think as the momentum of this program has began to shift, it's become a popular opinion to make. So, yeah, no, it's a lot of keeping the Kansas guys home is important. There's a lot of talent.
How's a guy like you going to handle going to London? Like being on the flight, being your size.
I know.
I'm just saying. I was talking to Cam, and it's like, what are you going to do on this? And he's excited about London. I'm sure you are too. It's a unique opportunity to go to London and play Arizona State at Wembley. Like that. That's a really cool experience. Probably something that you never would have dreamed of when you started playing the game of football, would be my guess. And I was just asking him, how do you handle such a long flight and being someone of similar size? I'm thinking to myself, how are you going to handle that long flight going to London?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, it is a concern because I do not do well in planes just because of leg room. Like my knees start to hurt after being bent for more than an hour. So either whether it's best case scenario, I have great leg room. Worst case scenario, I don't, but I'm sure Coach Sleeve is going to have us get up and stretch and move around every once in a while. So.
Yeah. Well, best of luck. How are you going to feel the time? You a big movie guy?
I am. Yeah, I love watching movies. There's no doubt.
Do you have a favorite so far?
Favorite movie?
You're okay. You're all good. It's like I'll mute you for a second. I got him all choked up. He was getting worked up about his favorite film. It must be a tearjerker. That's probably what it is.
I like war movies. 13 hours.
Okay.
I like war movies.
Right on. Okay. Very cool. Well, hey, Calvin, really appreciate your time. And, well, you got someone coming over here who's going to bug you, I suppose. So, or maybe he's just waiting for his turn. I don't know. Hey, Blake Harrell, he's just going to pop a squat and I guess enjoy himself. But, hey, Calvin, really appreciate your time, man. Congrats on all the success and best of luck to you here for this upcoming season, okay?
Thank you.
All right, Calvin Clements here with KU Football. Appreciate his time. We'll continue to have more interviews as we continue to move our way throughout the course of the program. But right now, we need to take a break. When we return, we'll go from KU and talk Kansas State. We'll focus on the K-State Wildcats. We'll talk to Coach Colin Klein when we come back here on The Pulse.
This is The Pulse on Wichita's new sports leader, ESPN Wichita 92.3.